You are listening to WPHM Digital Broadcasting, the best in paranormal talk radio.
Hello, and welcome to Paraversal Universe, where all paranormal perspectives apply. Join paranormal historian and ufologist Kevin Malek and psychic and demonologist Jennifer Skessy Malek as they navigate us through the different categories of the unknown and the unexplained, including ghosts and haunted places, cryptids and monsters, aliens and UFOs, theology, metaphysics, forbidden archaeology, urban legends and folklore, and conspiracies with top analysts from the experts in these disciplines. If it's amazing, unusual, or mysterious, if it's bizarre, creepy, and fantastic, if it's unbelievable, paranormal, or supernatural, it's Paraversal Universe Radio. And now, here are your hosts, Kevin and Jennifer.
At the Northwoods Paranormal Resource Center here in Rylander, Wisconsin. We're your hosts, Kevin and Jennifer Malek.
What's up, everybody?
Paraversal Universe is produced by Kat Hobson, the voice of Fate Magazine Radio over at WBHM, out of Birmingham, Alabama. We are also heard on WCET 101.7 FM out of Columbia, South Carolina, High Point Radio 100.5 FM and 1620 AM out of New Jersey, the Rift Radio Network family out of Lakeside, Virginia, and Amelia Pisano Productions out of Toronto, Canada. Welcome all of you, and hello to everyone in our chat room. We look forward to your questions and comments as always. The archive for the show will be available as well. Show archives from over the years can be found in various places on the web, including our archives like page on Facebook called Paraversal Universe Show Archives. Also check out our guest promo page, Paraversal Universe Radio, for what's coming up in the near future. We hope everyone is doing well, as always. We're still waiting for spring. We have an awesome show for you all coming up. We have the renowned Shaman Jualt Christos with us standing by. But first, before we bring him out, as always, let's do our shout-outs. Shout-outs go to those people who share our show banners this week. We appreciate it greatly, and thank you kindly. So who do we have?
This week we have Jualt Christos, Thoughts of Christos, Katrina Cooper, Rhodey Speak, Dennis Koch, Jason Bland, Paranormal Soup, Jamie Demelos, JJ Paranormal, Josh Chairs, Metaphysical Bounce, Howie Odell from the Orion Effect, Kate Hobson at WBHM, Lawrence DeMisa, Jean Broida, Lisa Reynaga, The Rift, Sudan, Lori Kreslaw, Elaine Dawes, and Trish Freudel.
Alrighty. Our guest for this broadcast is someone that we have become real good friends with over the years. He is one of our very favorite guests to have on, and we don't say that too often. We've had him on the show before. His name is Jualt Christos, otherwise known as Walter Brooks. He is a renowned and respected Iroquois shaman, psychic intuitive, metaphysician, and author of several books on these topics, including Writings on the Wall, Ours, Letters of Christos, A Forum with No Name, the Life of Christos series, and the critically acclaimed Thoughts of Christos. We've got a lot to discuss and catch up on. We're going to discuss his books, and see where the wind takes us, so to speak. We're going to also revisit Walt's victory over James Randi and his famous $1 Million Challenge, because we love that story. Of course, Randi never paid up, but whatever. It's all documented. Walt clearly won. Everyone knows it. And it's a true story for the annals of paranormal history. And we'll discuss also the direction of humanity is headed and any insight Walt may have on that, plus weather manipulation. So there's lots to discuss. Shall we bring him out?
Yes, let's bring him out.
Walt, are you with us?
Yes, and good afternoon to you.
Thank you for coming back on Paraversal Universe.
Yes, thank you so much. We're so excited to have you back on.
It's always truly a pleasure to be with the two of you. You're very human and professional, and I appreciate the opportunity that you give to me.
You know, although you've earned the right to bypass our initial questions regarding how you came into this field, it's quite an interesting story. So much so that we should probably somewhat revisit it. Plus, there are those, of course, who haven't heard it.
Yeah.
Now, you were chosen at a young age by your community to be a shaman. Can we start?
I won a contest.
Yes.
I won a contest, but in some way, I describe myself as an Iroquois shaman. But the paths that led me to become Iroquois and to become a shaman were somewhat separate and somewhat intertwined. I entered a contest that was being held by the YMCA, the Young Men's Christians Association. And I was part of what they called their Indian Guides program. And at one point, they held a contest where there were 500 kids and 12 counselors. And the kids were told to hide. And the counselors would be hunters. And each time a kid was found, that kid then became a hunter. And the winner of the contest would be the last kid to be found. And that became me. And that got me adopted as a member of the Iroquois Confederation, which is a confederation, or was a confederation of 7 tribes. It still exists, but I believe now there's 6 tribes. Now, the path to be a shaman is traditionally, one is, say, drafted by other. And to try to relate to people, the difference between a shaman and a priest is that a priest is a human who is selected by humans to be a representative of humans to other, and other in priestly religious circles is considered to be divine, and it's usually meant to be an intermediary between humans and gods or angels. But a shaman views all life as having its share of divinity. And the planet is having life. And the universe is having life. And a shaman is a representative chosen by other, not by humans, but chosen by other to be an intermediary between other and human. So in a way, a priest and a shaman are both in the middle, but one is selected by humans and the other is selected by other. And I would say I was drafted by other. It's not something that you necessarily select, though in our times, many people are self-proclaimed shaman. And words can have many meanings. And in their jargon, they probably are. And in my jargon, I am. So that's how I became an Iroquois shaman. And as part of what I was doing, I asked to be able to influence weather. And that's what led to the test, eventually led to the test with James Randi.
So, talk about your early years as a shaman. You become drafted in childhood, and
I
like
became, I had a very peculiar path. And, you know, I guess some people might say it's crazy, but when you're dealing with otherworldly things, I guess that comes with the territory. But when I was a child, I received visions that claimed to be from God. And these visions were like watching a TV, where I could be looking at a wall and like a circular portal would form. And I got sound and picture. And I could ask questions. And I would get answers. And when I asked who was sending me these visions, the only answer I got was, I am God. Okay? So when I I wanted a normal life, but I lived as a somewhat privileged and abused child. And I was somewhat isolated. And I lived a tortured life. I mean, my mother, with one drink, would turn extremely venomous and hateful. And, you know, she was fond of hitting me with anything, lamps, brooms, tables, whatever. And it was not good. But one day in a reflex, when I was about 15, after she had slapped me across the face, I raised my arm to protect myself from the next one, and she realized that I was getting too big for her to do that. So then all she would do after that would be yell and scream and say horrible, nasty things all the time to me, that I was a monster, not worthy of life, and I was not permanent, and the furniture was, and she couldn't wait till I was gone. It was very, very bad. My father was between 225 and 250 and about 5'10", and he was stocky, big, and muscular. And he would beat me every day. And this came eventually when they got sent a note home because I couldn't sit down in school, and the teacher wanted to know why. I said I'd been spanked. Everybody laughed. She said she had to see. Showed her my butt. It was bloody and pussing. They sent me to the nurse. The nurse sent a note home that she didn't want to see anything like that. And so my parents started moving me to a different school every year. That way the nurse would never see anything like that. And my father then switched from a ping pong wooden paddle on my butt to a 5-foot metal rod that was one of those big shoe horns so that people don't have to bend over to put on their shoes, and they can do it standing up. And the deal was that I would get beaten starting on my back with this metal rod unless I cried out. And if I cried out, then he would beat me wherever he wanted.